Good evening. Today topic the USA Recession 2008 Financial Crisis. साल 2015 अमेरिका में एक फिल्म रिलीज हुआ था ऑन द ग्रेट रिसेशन 2008 and this film focuses on how commercial bank, investment bank and insurance company affected and collapsed. The author of this film was Michael Lewis, which was directed by Adam McKay, and this film won the most prestigious award international and the best award by the Academy of Motion Picture, California, USA. The name of that award was the Academy Award, whose nickname was the Oscar, and the name of that film was The Big Shot. And this film Big Shot, ये इनिशियली पता चला कि एक तो कॉमेडी फिल्म है एंड मिडिल में पता चला कि एक सीरियस फिल्म है एंड एट लास्ट ये पता चला कि एक हॉरर मूवी. And this film Big Shot focuses on how the recession affect the American economy and it is spread all over the world. And the 2008 recession is known as the Great Depression after 1930 crisis. लेकिन ये recession क्या है? Recession is a general slowdown of economic activities of a country over a sustained period of time. When the recession continues for more than 2 consecutive quarters in a year, it is called as a depression. And during recession, there is a continuous fall in consumption, demand, production, employment, income, and savings. And the main causes of the 2008 financial crisis was there are huge current account surplus in China and other few countries coexisting with the current account deficit in USA. And the flow of money from the current account surplus countries into US kept the interest rate low. In simple terms, USA has been running in huge deficit, whereas the countries such as China, Japan, and other oil exporting nations needed an outlay for their surpluses. The major causes of the 2008 financial crisis is the failure of investment bank. Normally, investment banks are characterized by high risk and high return, and these banks do not come under the direct regulation of the central bank and largely based on providing services to the corporate world. Basic thing is US economy is a consumption oriented economy and world demand is influenced by the USA economy. In order to increase the demand, US central bank Federal Reserve kept the interest rate low. And you know, when bank reduce the interest rates, people withdraw their savings from bank and invest in other growth sectors or in share market. But after a terrorist attack by Al Qaeda in 2001 on World Trade Center in America, there was heavy crash in share market and people are in afraid to invest in the share market. And at that time, people are in search for the a growth sector and profitable sector where they return when or where they get a hands of income. And since 1995, property prices had risen more than the rate of inflation. Hence, there are return in the property sector at that time. Therefore, a property boom was created in 2001. At that time, the George Bush, the then president of America, stated that dot-com bubble and easy availability of a credit and due to low interest rate in US, fueled by large inflow of foreign funds after the Russian debt crisis and Asian financial crisis, led to housing construction boom, and as banks began to give more loans to potential homeowners, housing prices began to rise. And banks started giving loan. Normally, banks started loan to the credit to the customers whose repaying capacity is very strong and whose net worth is high. And after giving loan, bank collect the securities or mortgages against the loan, and it bundle all the individual loans and make a product. Then it gives a new name to this product called as complex investment option, whose value is derived from the value of the underlying asset, and the here underlying asset is the mortgages. Then it is sold this complex investment option to the investment bank, and the investment bank after processing of this complex investment option gives it a new name called as CDO, the collateral debt obligation. Then it is sold to the general public. That is why the people feels this CDO is safe for investment and started purchasing CDO. When people purchase CDO, the value of a CDO increasing, thereby the value of a real estate also increased. So after reaching the saturation point, investment bank pressurize the commercial bank to search for new customers, new borrower, whose loan repaying capacity was not good. US bank issued loan to unworthy customers called as subprime loan because the interest rate was very low. So bank issued loan at a higher rate to risky customers. Later, these loans were backed by mortgage of houses. This is called as subprime loan. Here, the role of a rating agency comes when there is a question of a risky, when there is a question of a safe, and when there is a question of a safety, then the role of a rating agency comes to pictures. And at that time, the rating company Moody gives this CDO as AAA rating. AAA means the investment is safe, the investment is secure, and the investment is less risk. Therefore, the value of investment goes high. Also, at that time, another new thing happens. The professor of some universities like Stanford write articles and give speech in favor of a CDO in favor of rising prices of a housing market in near futures and earn million of dollars. On the basis of a credit rating agency, the insurance company issued insurance. If the investor suffer any loss on CDO, then insurance company will protect. This is called as CDS, credit default swap. A CDS provides insurance like protection against the possibility of a default. It is contract through which a buyer pays money to a seller who agrees to pay the buyer a certain amount if a specified event occurs, that is financial instrument defaults. Then started the beginning of the end, and every good thing has bad sides. When the cash flow from the houses to investors got reduced, there is a selling pressures in MBS markets, investment mortgage-backed security markets. And when there is a selling pressure in MBS markets, bank faces liquidity problems. Liquidity problem means bank has a no surplus cash to invest in other development projects, which causes the demand reduced, and when demand reduced, the consumption reduced, and when consumption reduced, the production affected, and when production affected, employment suffered. When employment suffered, income reduced, and when income reduced, savings affected. And second Reason is adjustable rate of return. Normally, in case of a home loan in America, the first 1 year and 2 year, the interest rate is very low. But after 2 to 3 years, there is heavy interest rates. Therefore, people makes default, and when people makes default, bank acquire and possess their home. In this process, bank collects a huge homes and make it a auction. When bank makes it a auction, then there is a selling pressures of houses because the supply exceed demand, and when supply exceed demand, there is price of houses got reduced, and when prices of the houses reduced, there is nobody interested to take the home because all have possess the homes, and people think the prices of home is lower than their mortgages. Therefore, they left their homes and bank face the toxic assets, the non-performing assets. The second important reason of the financial crisis is the capitalism. Capitalism refers to the liberalized economy, free economy. Capitalism support the policy of individualism based on competition. Under capitalism, the production and consumption pattern is governed by the individuals instead of a government like socialism. There is no control of the production consumption under capitalism. The manufacturers are free to manufacture any product and the consumers are free to consume any product, unlike socialism. In US, all financial institutions are private except the central bank called Federal Reserve. Another point is the abolishment of a Glass-Steagall Act. Under Glass-Steagall Act, no commercial bank are entered into share market, but after abolishment of Act during 2004, commercial bank invest their deposit in a risky investment. Then focus on series of events leading to current financial meltdown. First, the US housing market collapsed due to supply increasing as compared to demand. Bank pile up toxic asset free liquidity crunch to finance other deals. Value of real estate drops drastically. Mortgage market takes further hit and subprime prices deepen. Faulty credit rating agency. The role of economic forecasting. The former governor of RBI, Raghuram Rajan, had predicted the crisis in 2005 when he became chief economist at the IMF, International Monetary Fund. In 2005, at a celebration honoring the chairman of the US Federal Reserve, Rajan delivered a controversial paper that was the critical of the financial sector, but nobody cares Raghuram Rajan's statements. And some critics argue that credit rating agency and investors fail to accurately price the risk involved with the mortgage related financial products and fair value of accounting. Also, some criticize that the valuation should be on the market price as against the book value, and dramatic breakdown in corporate governance, lacking full understanding of the financial systems. Then the impact of the 2008 financial crisis. The impact of the recession is not confined to the US alone. The impact of the recession was wider and deeper in comparison to 1930 crisis because in 2008 the global economy is more integrated and interdependent. Indian scenario, India showed more resilience as India is a market emerging economy. and it is part and partial related with the international markets. Only leather software market to some extent were affected, and if you view the Western scenario, according to official report, nearly 1.9 million jobs were lost in the USA in the last 4 months and 240 million over 2009. The weakening of the US will have a major impact on the US capacity to sustain its various military operations. And according to ILO reports, the International Labour Organization recently forecast the global unemployment could increase by more than 5 crore by 2009 unless policies are implemented. Then measures to control the recession, G20 summits group of finance minister and central bank governors on April 2009 held in London. The summit for the first time agreed on a set of principles to reform the global banking system, check the deposit of unaccounted money by politicians and bureaucrats in the foreign bank, as these accounts no more secrets. And the points of measures was the fiscal policy, monetary policy, government should spend on infrastructure and other development projects. It is true that Indian black money is being deposited every year in Swiss bank around 1,35,000 crores as per the report of GFI USA. This black money be returned to India and should be utilized in agriculture by the farmers. If black money be returned to India, this will change the economic position of India. Fifth point is need to improve agriculture and trades. Sixth is need to increase MSP. Seventh, the subsidy of fertilizers should be given directly to the farmer but not fertilizer factory owners. And the media should not overproject the problem, and a special scheme should be launched for upliftment of the poor. But there are pros and minus point of recession. The minus point are job scarcity, retrenchments will be all-time high, liquidity in the market will be low, export market will be several hit, and plus point are the cost of living come down, things we are exporting will be forced to be sold locally and bringing the price down. This is all about 2008 financial crisis, how it affect American economy and how it is spread all over the world. Thank you for watching. Good night.